method we are using for solving the optimization problem. And we are using the concept of memoization. So memoization means it's one of the efficient procedure we are using for solving the recursive problems. If you want to solve a problem, we are dividing the problem into so many sub-problems. And initially the first sub-problem is solved. Then when you are solving the second sub-problem, we are actually inputting the values from the first sub-problem and we have to see whether we are able to get a better solution. If you are getting a better solution, then you have to include into the second sub-problem. Like this, you have to proceed. So that is the concept of memoization in dynamic programming. This is what we are applying in the Floyd-Warshall algorithm, right? Okay. Now, what is Floyd-Warshall algorithm? Floyd-Warshall is also called as all-pair shortest path algorithm because we are finding the shortest path between all pairs of vertices. Suppose if you are having n vertices, means each and every vertex we have to find what is the shortest path to all the other vertices. This concept was devised by Robert Floyd in the year 1960s. And how this algorithm works is, we need to have a directed or undirected weighted graph, right? And you have to assign weights, right? So these weights can be positive or negative. The undirected or directed graph can have positive or negative weights. But we have only one restriction in this case. What is the restriction? The graphs should not have negative cycle. The cycle, if it is having, it should not be a negative value. For that particular case, this algorithm will not work. That's the only one restriction we are having for Floyd-Warshall. Otherwise, Floyd-Warshall, in the case of Dijistra's algorithm, from a single source, you'll be finding shortest path to all the other vertices. Whereas in the case of Floyd-Warshall, for all pairs, from each and every vertex, you have to find what is the shortest path to all the remaining vertices. Now we'll straight away go to the problem. We are given a directed and weighted graph. So what is a directed graph? So see, the arrows are given from one vertex to another vertex. So it's a directed and weights are assigned. So we are saying directed and weighted graph. We are given a graph here, and here we have to find what is the length of shortest path between all pairs of vertices. We are given 4 vertices. So find the shortest path from all these 4, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Similarly, 2 to 1, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 3 to 1, 3 to 2, 3 to 4. Similarly, 4 to 1, 4 to 2, 4 to 3, which is the shortest path that we are finding by taking each and every vertex as the intermediate vertex. We'll see how to solve this. The basic concept for this Floyd-Warshall algorithm is, you are given n vertices. Initially, you have to go from vertex I to vertex j, let's say. If you have an intermediate vertex called vertex k, then which is the shortest path? Either going from I to j directly or I to k and k to j. So which is the shortest among these two options? I to j directly, or you are going from I to k and plus from k again you can come to j. So among these two, which is the shortest? That is the main concept you are using in the Floyd-Warshall algorithm. So that's why this, if you are having n number of vertices, taking each and every vertex as the intermediate vertex, we have to solve the problem. So we are given a graph having n number of vertices. So initially what we are doing is, we have to create a matrix which is having n rows and n columns. Then we have to find the cast. You have to take the cast and fill the values into this matrix. We'll see how to do this. So the same problem I have taken. So initially we are taking the cast matrix and we have to initially store in the matrix called A superscript 0 because it is the initial cast. Now, if you have a direct cast, you have to include that cast into the corresponding cell. If not, you have to mark it as infinity, right? We'll see how to do this. Initially 1, 1. 1, 1 means one vertex to the same, to itself is always 0. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, all these are zeros. Now come to 1, 2. From vertex 1 to vertex 2, what is the cast? Cast is given as 3. So we are writing 1, 2 is 3. Then what is 1, 3? So 1, 3, there is no direct path. So we are saying it is infinity. Now, next you are coming 1 to 4. 1 to 4, do you have a path? Yes, we have a path. And what is the cost? Cost is 5. So we are writing it as 5. Now come to the next vertex, second vertex. So second vertex means, again from 2, we are seeing like what is the cost of going to vertex 1. Vertex 1 is having its cost is 2. Then what is the cost of 2, 2? So vertex 2 itself is 0. So we are getting the value 0. Then similarly see what is the cost of 2, 3. 2, 3, there is no edge going from 2 to 3. We are getting an edge from 3 to 2. So we don't have an edge from 2 to 3. So that's why it is infinity. Similarly, 2, 4. 2, 4 also we have an edge and its cost is 4. We are including in this. Okay. Now come to vertex 3. So from vertex 3 also you have to find what is the cost of going to all the other vertices. Now, what is the cost of going from 3, 1? 3, 1, there is no direct cost. So we are saying it is infinity. Then next is 3, 2. 3, 2, we have a direct path from 3 to 2. So we are saying it is 1. Then 3, 3, itself, it don't have any cost. So it is 0. Then 3, 4. 3, 4, see, the other way we have path, but there is no path for 3, 4. So it is infinity. Again, taking fourth vertex, we are seeing what is the cost of going from 4, 1. 4, 1, there is no path since it is a directed. So we are seeing it is infinity. Then 4, 2. 4, 2 also, there is no direct path. So we are saying it is no path, so it is infinity. Now, next we are seeing 4, 3. 4, 3, we are having the cost is 2. Okay, so 4, 3 is 2. Again 4, 4, there is no cost, so we are saying it is 0. So like this, we are filling the cost matrix initially, that is A0. Now, taking this A0 as the input, now we have to consider each and every vertex as the intermediate vertex and find what is the minimum cost of visiting all the other vertices. Okay, so I'll proceed. So see here that A0 value I have taken in this matrix. Now, initially, let's take vertex 1 as the intermediate vertex. If you are taking 1 as the intermediate vertex, what is the cost of going from the particular vertex 1 through vertex 1 also we can reach the destination. So what is the cost of reaching the destination for all vertices? That's what we are going to see. Now, same formula we are applying. If A of 1, I, j is from the previous A0 value we have to use, and we are applying this for getting the results of this one. Either for going I, j is shortest, through 1 if you go, will be getting the shortest path or not. So we are seeing, applying this formula on this matrix A0 for getting the answer for taking 1 as the intermediate vertex. Then other one is, when you're taking vertex 1 as the intermediate vertex, there won't be any changes in first row and first column. So no need to calculate the values for first row, first column. You can save this first row and first column. You can keep it as fixed. You freeze it. You are not going to do any changes. And you have to change only in the other cells. You have to see whether it is giving a better cost. Okay. So first row, first column is kept as fixed. We are not changing the value. It won't change. Now come to the next one. 2, 2. 2, 2 is always 0. Same vertex. Now come to 2, 3. 2, 3 means, how do you apply this formula? A of 2, 3 is minimum among going to 2, 3, or you are having an intermediate vertex called 1. So 2 to 1 and then 1 to 3, which is minimum, right? So first row, first column you have fixed. Then 2, 2, we have made it as 0 because it is to self. Now we are finding A of 2, 3. 2, 3 means directly we have to see what is the cost from here. 2, 3 directly, or we can come through the intermediate vertex 1 also. So 2, 1 to 1, 3, which is minimum. That's what we are saying. See, so 2, 3, what is the value here? 2, 3 is infinity, or from 2, 1 also we can reach. 2, 1 is 2 plus 1, 3 is infinity. So minimum among this is infinity. So that's why we have put 2, 3 is infinity here. Now come to A of 2, 4. 2, 4 means, again you have to see 2, 4 from A0 is giving us the least cost, or 2, 1 plus 1, 4, which is giving us the least cost. Now see here, 2, 4 directly is giving the cost as 4. Then 2, 1 is giving the cost as 2. And then 1, 4. 1, 4 is giving the cost as 5. So if you add this here, we are getting 7. So minimum cost is 4. So that's why 2, 4 is filled with 4. So again, we are coming to the third row. Third row, 3, 2, because 3, 1 is already fixed. 3, 2. What is the cost of 3, 2? So minimum of 3, 2 from the previous table, or 3, 1 plus, then from there we are coming to second vertex, 1, 2. That's why 3, 2, what is the value? 1, or 3, 2 is 1, or 3, 1 is infinity, or 1 plus 2, it is 3. So which is minimum among this? 1 is minimum. So that's why 3, 2 is 1 only. Now again 3, 4, no need to find for 3, 3, no need to find because same vertex. Now you find what is the cost of 3, 4. So 3, 4 is minimum among 3, 4, which is infinity, or through vertex 1 also you can come, right? So 3, 1 plus 1, 4. So 3, 1 is how much? Again infinity plus 1, 4 is 5. So infinity plus 5 is again giving us infinity. So 3, 4 we are saying it is infinity. Now come to the next one, fourth row. Fourth row, first element is 4, 2. So again apply the same formula. Minimum among A of 4, 2. 4, 2 is infinity, or 4, 1 plus 1, 2. So 4, 1 is infinity and 1, 2 is 3. So minimum is infinity. So we are saying it is infinity only. Now the last one is A of 4, 3. A of 4, 3 is previous value of A of 4, 3, or A of 4, 1 plus 1, 3. So 4, 3 from the previous matrix, we are getting the value as 2. Now 4, 1 is infinity, then 1, 3 is also infinity. So finally we are getting the value as 2. So we are actually we are including 4, 3 is 2. And last one is 4, 4, which is 0. Okay, already it is 0. So these are the data we have updated now for taking A for first vertex as the intermediate vertex. Now see these two matrices, we don't find any difference. Whatever we have got in A not only, we have got this vertex 1 also. Now we'll proceed and see whether we'll get a better cost in the next stage, right? For this, we have to take only this values, matrix A1 as the input for finding vertex 2 as the intermediate vertex. So we'll proceed. Okay, we have taken A1, previous matrix we have taken as the input. Now, vertex 2 we are considering as the intermediate vertex. And we have to see whether we can reach a destination with the least cost. So in the case of considering vertex 2 as the intermediate vertex, second row and second column will remain as fixed. So there won't be any changes. So second row and second column we have fixed. We have to find the value for the other cells. So first we are saying what is A of 1, 1? It is to self, it is 0 only. Now find what is the cost of 1, 3. 1, 3 means you have to see here. Directly coming to 1, 3 is minimum, or intermediate vertex is vertex 2. So you are coming to 1, 2 and from there 2, 3, that is minimum or not. So that's why here 1, 3 is infinity. Then what is 1, 2? 1, 2 is 3. Again 2, 3 is infinity. So we are getting the same value here. 1, 3 is infinity. Now come to A of 1, 4. 1, 4 is minimum of. Coming to 1, 4 directly, or through the intermediate vertex also we can come. So that's why A of 1, 2 or 2, plus 2, 4. So we are seeing here 1, 4 is 5 and 1, 2 is 3 and 2, 4 is 4. So if you are seeing this, first is 5 and 4 plus 3, we are getting the value is 7. Least among these two is 5. So we are saying A of 1, 4 is 5 here. There is no change. Now second row is fixed. Now come to the third row. Third row, first element we are taking A of 3, 1. So what is the cost now? Cost is coming from A of 3, 1 directly, or we are coming to the intermediate vertex called vertex 2. So A of 3, 2 plus 2, 1. So we'll see what is the cost. So 3, 1 is how much? Infinity. Now 3, 2 is how much? 3, 2 is 1 plus 2, 1. 2, 1 is 2. So see here, we are getting the cost, minimum cost is 3. 3, 1 is now changed to 3. Previously, we had the value of 3, 1 as infinity. Now we have changed the value to 3. We have got a better cost. Now come to second 3, 2 is fixed because second row and second column we have fixed. Now we have come to the next one, 3, 3. It is cost to itself. It is 0. Now come to the next one, 3, 4. So 3, 4 means minimum of. Coming to 3, 4 directly, or now through vertex 2, you can reach this fourth vertex. So that's why 3, 4, or through vertex 2, 3, 2 plus 2, 4, which is minimum. So 3, 4 is infinity for us. Find what is 3, 2. 3, 2 is 1. And what is 2, 4? 2, 4 is 4. So minimum among these two is 5. So 5 is the least cost that we are including here. See here, even 3, 4, here we got the value as 5, but previously we got the value as infinity. So it is a better cost compared to the previous one. Similarly, come to the next one, 4, 1. 4, 1 is directly coming to 4, 1, or through vertex 2, we can reach the destination. 4, 2 plus 2, 1. So which is minimum. So 4, 1, we are getting the value as infinity. Then 4, 2 is infinity plus 2, 1. 2, 1 is 2. So minimum among these is infinity. So there is no change. Here we are getting the same value, infinity. Now, next one, second column is already fixed. No, we can't change anything. Come to 4, 3. 4, 3 is minimum among 4, 3, or through vertex 2 also we can reach, right? So 4, 2 plus 2, 3. Now see here, 4, 3 is 2, or 4, 2. 4, 2 is infinity plus 2, 3 is also infinity. So minimum among these is 2, right? So we have got this cost. So here what you have seen is 2 changes we have got, 3, 1 and 3, 4. Now what you will do? We will keep second this A2 as the next input matrix, and from this you will be extracting A3, taking 3 as the intermediate vertex. What is the cost? That's what we are trying to find out next. Okay, so I have taken A2 second matrix as the input matrix. From this, taking vertex 3 as the intermediate vertex, we have to see whether we will be able to reach the destination with least cost. So for taking 3 as the intermediate vertex means we'll be fixing third column and third row. So third row, third column is fixed. Now find the cost of the remaining vertices. Similarly, A of 1, 1 to self is 0. 1, 2. 1, 2 is either minimum 1, 2 or through vertex 3, or can you reach the destination. So A of 1, 3 plus 3, 2. See here, 1, 2 is for us 3, and 1, 3 is infinity. 3, 2 is 1. So minimum cost we are getting as 3 only. So 1, 2, 3, there is no change. The next column 1, 3 is fixed. We are not doing anything. Now come here 1, 4. Now 1, 4, what is the cost? Minimum of A of 1, 4, or we can go from 1 to 3, and from 3 we can reach fourth vertex. So 1, 4 is how much? From this table it is 5. Then 1, 3 is infinity, and 3, 4 is 5. So getting the minimum cost is 5. So 1, 4 is 5. Right. Now come here 2, 1. 2, 1 is again minimum among 2, 1, or 2, 3 plus 3, 1. See the values. 2, 1 is 2. Then 2, 3. 2, 3 is infinity. Then 3, 1 is 3. So minimum among this is 2. So 2, 1 we are saying it is 2. Next 2, 2 we are seeing 2, 2 is cost to itself is 0. Next 2, 3 we are seeing 2, 3 is actually infinity. It's fixed, so there is no change. Now come here 2, 4. So when you are coming to 2, 4, now you are seeing whether coming to 2, 4 is least, or 2, 3 plus 3, 4. Now see here, 2 comma 4 is 4, 2 comma 3 is infinity, plus 3 comma 4 is 5. So among these, we are finding the least cost is 4. So getting the cost is 4. There is no change in all these cases. Now, third row is also fixed because we are considering third vertex as the intermediate vertex. Now come to the fourth row. Fourth row, we are finding what is the cost of 4 comma 1. So 4 comma 1 means minimum of directly coming to A of 4 comma 1 directly, or 4 comma 3 plus 3 comma 1. Now see here, 4 comma 1 is infinity. Now we will get a change here. See, 4 comma 3. 4 comma 3 is 2 plus next one is 3 comma 1. So 3 comma 1 is 3. So getting the value, minimum value as 5. So previously 4 comma 1 was infinity. Now we are getting the value as 5. There is a change in the cost. Now again we are coming to A of 4 comma 2. A of 4 comma 2 means previously we are getting the values infinity. So minimum of A of 4 comma 2 are taking 3 as the intermediate vertex. 4 comma 3 plus A of 3 comma 2, which is minimum. So see here, 4 comma 2 is infinity, or 4 comma 3. 4 comma 3 is 2 plus 3 comma 2 is 1. So if you see this, now we are getting the value 3 is the minimum value. So we got this value 3 here. Then last one, A of 4 comma 4, there is no change. It is a 0, so we are not including this. So if you see this matrix, we are getting two changes in A of 4 comma 1 and A of 4 comma 2. These are the changes we are getting in this place, right? So taking third vertex as intermediate vertex also, we have seen what is the least cost. Now finally, taking fourth vertex as the intermediate vertex, you have to find what is the least cost. So we'll proceed. Now come here, we have taken vertex 3 as the last one. That is taking vertex 3 as A3, we are taking as the input matrix. Now taking 4 as the intermediate vertex, you have to find what is the minimum cost of all the vertices. Now, when you are taking 4 as the intermediate vertex, fourth column and fourth row will be remain as fixed. There won't be any changes. So we are not considering that. We have to see whether the cost can be improved by including the remaining vertices. Now come here, A of 1 comma 1 is 0. We are not including. Come to 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 means minimum of 1 comma 2, or 1 comma 4 plus 4 comma 2, which is minimum. So see here, 1 comma 2 is 3 for us. Then 1 comma 4 is 5. Then 4 comma 2 is 3. So among this 3 and 8, minimum value is 3. So we are saying 1 comma 2 is 3 only. Now we are coming to 1 comma 3. So we are coming to 1 comma 3. So previous 1 comma 3 value is infinity only. Now we will see whether we will get a better cost here. So directly coming to A of 1 comma 3 or A of 1 comma 4 plus 4 comma 3, which is least. So 1 comma 3 is how much? It is infinity. And 1 comma 4 is how much? 5. Then 4 comma 3 is how much? 2. So from this, which is the minimum cost? 7 is the least cost. So see here, 1 comma 3, we are getting the value as 7. So it is better cost compared to the previous one, which was infinity. Now, fourth column is fixed, no need to change. Again come here, 2 comma 1. 2 comma 1 is minimum of 2 comma 1 or 2 comma 4 plus 4 comma 1. Since we are considering 4 as the intermediate vertex. So 2 comma 1 is 2, then 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4 is 4 plus 4 comma 1. 4 comma 1 is 5. So minimum among this is 2. So we're getting the value of 2 comma 1 as 2. Right. Now come here 2 comma 3. 2 comma 3 means minimum of A of 2 comma 3 or 2 comma 4 plus 4 comma 3. So if you are seeing here, 2 comma 3 is infinity. Now 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4 is 4 plus 4 comma 3 is 2. So among this we are getting the least cost as 6. Previously for 2 comma 3 we had the value as infinity. Now we are getting the value as 6. We are getting a better cost compared to the previous matrix. Now come to the next one. Next third row, 3 comma 1. 3 comma 1 means minimum among 3 comma 1 or through fourth vertex will you get a better cost. So 3 comma 1 or 3 comma 4 plus 4 comma 1. So that's why 3 comma 1 is 3 or 3 comma 4 is 5 plus 4 comma 1 is 5. So 3 and 10, the minimum cost is 3. So we are getting 3, 1, we are getting the cost as 3. Same value as the previous one. Now last one is A of 3, 2. Here once again we are finding whether the previous cost 3, 2 is lesser, or 3, 4 plus 4, 2 will give us a least cost. See here 3, 2 is like 4, 3, 2. 3, 2 is 1, or 3, 4 is 5, then plus 4, 1. 4, 1 is 5. 4, 4, 2 here. 4, 2 is 3. So from this 1 and 8, we are getting the least cost as 1. So we have constructed the last matrix also. So in the case of this Floyd-Warshall algorithm, what we have done? Initially, we have taken the initial cost matrix. Then taking vertex 1 as the intermediate vertex, we have seen what is the least cost. Then taking vertex 2 as the intermediate vertex, we have seen what is the least cost. Then taking 3 as the intermediate vertex, on the vertex K2, we have seen what is the least cost. Then finally, we are applying the input as A3, and on this we are applying the formula and taking fourth vertex as the intermediate vertex, we are seeing what is the least cost, right? So finally we are coming, this is the final resultant shortest path matrix. 1 to 1, what is the cost? 1 to 2, 3 is the least cost. 1 to 3, what is the least cost? 7. 1 to 4, what is the cost? 2 to 1, what is the cost? 2 to 3, what is the cost? 2 to 4, what is the cost? So like this, we have got obtained the shortest path for all the vertices. So that's why we call as the all pair shortest path algorithm, right? Now we'll see the algorithm for this all pair shortest path. So we were given a directed and weighted graph. So this graph, we have to first store into the A matrix. So that's why we are given cost is the matrix which contains the cost adjacency matrix. And from here, now what you are doing is, we'll be storing all the costs one by one into the A matrix. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. Similarly, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. Like this, the entire cost we are storing into the A matrix. So these two for statements are used for storing the cost from the cost adjacency matrix to the A matrix. Right? So we'll be getting the initial one, A naught value we are getting. Now come here, we have to find what is the cost, right? Cost, minimum cost, shortest path of going from one vertex to all the other vertices. Now see here, for I is 1, I less than or equal to 1, n I plus plus. Then j is 1, j less than or equal to n, j plus plus. So taking like a 1, 1, what is the cost? 1, 2, what is the cost? 1, 3, what is the cost? 1, 4, what is the cost? We'll see the inside loops first of all, I and j. Similarly, I value will be 2. So when I is 2, j will again vary from 1 to 4, right? So when I is 2, j value is 1. Next time j value will be 2. Then j value will be 3. J value will be 4. Like this we are seeing. Then I value will be 3. When I is 3 also we have to find what is 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. Then finally I value will be 4. When I is 4 we are finding what is 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4. Okay. So these two statements I and j for finding moving from one vertex to another vertex, I, j. And what is this k? K is initially we are taking vertex 1 as the intermediate vertex. What is the cost of going to all these vertices? Then when k is 2, we are taking second vertex as the intermediate vertex. What is the cost of going to all these vertices? Then taking vertex 3 as the intermediate vertex. What is the cost of going to all these vertices? Then taking 4 as the intermediate vertex. What is the cost of going to all these vertices? So they apply the same formula. A of I, j for taking kth vertex as the intermediate vertexes. We are finding the cost from the previous matrix. So that's why A of k minus 1 into I, j, or A of k minus 1 into I, k plus A of k minus 1 into k, j. This is the formula you have used, right? So this is the algorithm. Now we have to see what is the time complexity. Time complexity means, see here, first loop is for just you are transferring the cost from the cost matrix to the A matrix. So for here, two for statements are there. From the cost, we are storing into the A matrix. So here the time complexity is n squared. Now come here, inside a loop, here 3 for statements you are having. So that's why 3 for statements you're applying in this formula. So here we can say, since you're having 3 for statements, the time complexity is n cube. So that's why time complexity is order of n cube. That is the time complexity of this Floyd-Warshall algorithm, right? So this is Floyd-Warshall. Now, what are the applications? Generally, it is used for telephone networking for finding the shortest path. Similarly, for internet routing, for finding the shortest path we are using. And also, third application is transitive closure of a directed graph. So what do you mean by transitive closure? You want to go from ith node to jth node, or ith vertex to jth vertex, means you have to see whether it is reachable to go from ith vertex to jth vertex. Checking the reachability is what we call as the transitive closure. So that's why this is the transitive closure of directed graph. Now, if you see the drawbacks, since we are having several sub-process, every data we are storing, initially A0 we are storing, then A1 we are storing, then A2 we are storing, A4 we are storing. So since we are storing all the sub-process data, it takes more time and resources. That is one of the drawback we can see. And another one is it cannot handle negative cycle. That is the restriction we are having in the Floyd-Warshall algorithm. So this is about Floyd-Warshall all-pair shortest path algorithm, which will give the shortest path from every vertex to all the remaining vertices. So this is coming under our dynamic programming approach, right? So under dynamic programming, now we have seen 2 problems. One is our Floyd-Warshall, another one is optimal binary search tree. So these are the problems under dynamic programming. Now we'll come to Kruskal's method. So Kruskal's is following the greedy approach for solving a problem. So what is a greedy approach? Like a greedy, we can say it is one of the simplest and it is a straightforward approach for solving a problem. Now, if you want to solve a problem, there will be so many constraints for solving the problem. Now, applying the constraints, you have to see what are the various feasible solutions you are getting from here. Okay, we have to extract all the feasible solution. And from the feasible solution, the one which gives the best solution, that is called as the optimal solution. You have to find the optimal solution. So for every problem, there will be a lot of solutions from this. Whichever problem is giving, whichever solution is the best based on the problem you are solving, that is called as the optimal solution. So for this greedy approach, we don't foresee any techniques also. With whatever data you are having, you should try to analyze and you should try to solve the problem. That is what you call as the greedy approach. And greedy approach is mainly used for solving the shortest path problems. So we'll see first one, how we are going to solve the minimum spanning tree. So what is minimum spanning tree? Now we are given a graph. A graph is defined as a G is equal to V comma E. What is V comma E? Graph G is defined as V is the number of vertices and E is the number of edges. Okay, V number of vertices and E number of edges we are having. Now, here, what is a spanning tree? The spanning tree of this particular graph is again a subgraph, and it should produce a tree, and this tree should connect all the vertices together. So, we are having a graph. This graph is called as V comma E. And what is spanning tree? Spanning tree means it is again a tree, subgraph of the particular graph, which is again a tree, and this tree should connect all the vertices. That is what we call as the spanning tree. So one graph will have many spanning trees. From the spanning trees, whichever spanning tree is giving the least cost, that we have to take as a final optimal solution. Now see here, if your graph is having B number of vertices, B number of vertices means your spanning tree should contain B minus 1 edges finally. Okay, we are having B number of vertices. So finally, our spanning tree should contain B minus 1 edges. So that is what we call as the minimum spanning tree. We will see one example for this. See here, this is an example for undirected graph. There is no direction. It is a graph and we are having 4 vertices. So what is a spanning tree? The spanning tree should connect all the vertices, and since you are having 4 vertices here, final spanning tree should contain 4 minus 1. 3, that is 3 edges it should contain, right? So that's why, see here, what are the various ways in which you can represent the spanning tree? Here, A, B, C, D are the vertices in figure A. So we are connecting all the vertices A, B, C, D, right? And we are discarding the connection between A to D because if you are having 4 edges, final spanning tree should contain only 3 edges. Okay, based upon the number of vertices. 4 vertices you are having. So final spanning tree should contain only 3 edges. So A is having 3 edges. Now come to the next one. This is also a spanning tree because there is no connection between C and D. Like we are connecting all the 4 vertices using 3 edges. So this is also a spanning tree. Now come to the next one. This B, A, B, D, C. This one, it is connecting all the vertices, but with 3 edges. So this is also a spanning tree. The last one here also, like 4 vertices we are connecting, but we are connecting with 3 edges. So spanning tree means you'll be given a graph. From this given graph, now you are extracting a subgraph which is represented in the form of a tree. And in this tree, we have to connect all the vertices. And the vertices, how you are connecting is, if you are having n number of vertices, the final spanning tree should contain n minus 1 edges. Okay, n number of vertices means the final spanning tree should contain n number of edges. That's what we call as the spanning trees. So among all the spanning trees, these are the various feasible solutions. From this, the one which gives a minimum cost, that is the optimal solution, minimum spanning tree. Now, how do you solve this minimum spanning tree? 2 techniques we are having for solving this. The first one is what we call as the Kruskal's method for solving the minimum spanning tree. And second one is what we call as the Prim's method for solving the minimum spanning tree. So in this session, we are going to see about the Kruskal's method for solving the minimum spanning tree. So if you are given a graph, what you are supposed to do is, initially, we have to sort all the edges according to increasing order of their weights. Okay, sort all the edges according to increasing order of their weights, and we'll be storing in the form of a table. And initially, we have to pick the edge which is giving the least cost. And we'll be creating a set to see already it is included in the solution set or not. Okay, if it is included in the solution set, then we don't if it is included in the solution set, we don't include again into the solution set because it will create a cycle. If it is not included in the solution set, means we have to include this edge into the solution set, right? So that's why we have to repeat this step 2 until all the edges are included in the solution set, as well as B number of vertices are there, means we'll be getting B minus 1 number of edges. Until you are getting that, we have to repeat the process. This is what we are trying to do. We'll see an example for this, right? So see here, the graph is containing how many vertices here we have? Starting from vertex 0. Now we are saying we are having 9 vertices, because from 0 to 8. So we are having 9 vertices. And how many edges we are having? See how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 edges we are having. So finally, our minimum spanning tree should be connected with all these vertices, and we should have only 8 number of edges, because 9 vertices you are having. Final minimum spanning tree should contain only 8 number of edges connecting all these 9 vertices. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do, and we'll be discarding 6 edges. Okay, come here. So this is the graph that is given. Now first we have to create a queue. That is, we have to construct a queue with increasing order of their weights. So from this graph, we have to see which is the least cost edge. Which is the least cost edge? See here, 6, 7, which is giving us the cost as 1. So source is 6, destination is 7. It is giving the least cost as 1. Now come to the next one, 5, 6. 5, 6, 5 to 6. It is giving us the least cost as 2. Next one is 2, 8. 2, 8 is also giving us the least cost as 2. Come to the next one. Is there anything with the edge weight 3? No. So we'll come to the next one. 2, 8 is giving us the least cost as 2, cost is 2. Now come to the next one, 0, 1. 0, 1 is giving us least cost, is giving the cost as 4. Next one is again 2, 5. 2 to 5 is giving the cost as 4. Then is there any edge having cost as 5? No. So we'll come to the next one, 6 to 8. 6 to 8 is having the cost as 6. Include this. Next 7, right? So 2 to 3. Do you have the cost? Yes. 2 to 3 we have a connection and its cost is 7. Next one is after 7 we have one here, 7 to 8. 7 to 8 is also having the cost as 7. Then next one is 8. 0 to 7 is having the cost as 8 we are including. Next 1, 2. 1, 2 is also having the cost at 8 we are including. Then next one is 3, 4. 3, 4 is having the cost 3 to 4. We are getting the cost as 9. We are including this one, 3 to 4. Then 4, 5. 4 to 5 is getting the cost as 10. We are including. Then 1, 7. 1, 7 we are getting the cost as 11. We are including. Then finally 3, 5. 3, 5 the cost is 14. We are including this. So we are given a graph means initially the step 1 what we are doing is we have to create a queue or you store this in the form of a table. So you have to sort all the edges according to increasing order of their weights, and we are storing all these edges in this table, or we'll say it is we are storing in the form of a queue we are storing. Then come to the next one, step 2. In step 2 what we are doing is actually we are having 9 vertices, right, starting from vertex 0 to vertex 8. Now to mean that these vertices are already included, already selected, we have to generate 9 sets starting from S0. So here S0 is 0, then S1 is 1, means we are including vertex 1, then S2 we are including vertex 2, then S3 we are including vertex 3, S4 we are including vertex 4, then S5 we are including vertex 5, then S6 we are including vertex 6, S7 we are including vertex 7, S8 we are including vertex 8. So to mean that we are including all the vertices into the solution. Okay, I'll stop for some time. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue. So what we are doing is like we have taken all the 9 vertices you are having starting from vertex S0 to S8. So all these vertices we are including into the solution. See here means S0 is 1, 0, S1 is 1, S2 is 2, S3 is 3, S4 is 4, like this we are including all this into the set. Now what you are supposed to do is you take the least cost edge from the queue and include this into the solution table called as table T. So this is our table T. We are including into the solution table. Okay, take the least cost edges. So what is the least cost edge? See here, previous table, the least cost edges are 6, 7. So 6, 7, it was having the cost as 1. So we have taken the least cost state 6, 7 and we are storing here in the table, right? So once you are making 6, 7, now we have to mean that the 6, 7 is already included in the solution. So we are making a new set by combining this 6 and 7. So 6 and 7 already we have included in the solution. So that's why combining S6 and S7. Now we are getting the new set. This new set is what we call as S9 and we are getting the value 6 and 7. This you are having in the solution. Now again we have to proceed. Okay. Again we are proceeding. See 6, 7 is already included. Okay, this is the main table we had, the various vertices with all the costs. I have taken here. Once you are including 6, 7, next you have to include 5, 6. Okay, the one I have highlighted in green color, no, that's already included. Now 5, 6 we are taking presently. 5, 6, and we have to see whether already they are part of a set or do you have to create a new set. So already part of the set means, see here, previously we got right, S0 is 1, S1 is 1, S2 is 2. Like this we had till S8. Now see here, S9 already we have created from the previous stage. I have highlighted with this blue color. Now we are going to create S10. So S10, how do you create? Now the new edges we are considering as vertex 5 and vertex 6. So vertex 5 and 6 means 5 is already there in S5 and where is 6? 6, we have to take the previous set which is having the 6. Previous set means see here, S9 is having the 6 and 7, right? So we have to merge this S5 and S9 for getting S10. So S10 now we are getting 5, 6 and 7. 5, 6 and 7, we are getting this S10. Right, S10 now we are including here to mean that 5, 6, 7 we are including like already we have 5 and 6 we are including into this solution. So the new set we are creating is 5, 6, 7. Right, this is done. Now come to the next one, 2, 8. 2, 8 means here 2, 8 also we have to see whether they are already part of the set or do you have to create a new set. The previous sets we have created is still this S10. 2, 8 is not part of this sets. It does not belong to the same set. It belongs to different sets only. S2 is having 2, S8 is having 8. So now we have to merge these two, S2 and S8, to get the new set. That new set is S11, which is having the values 2, 8. Right? So here we are getting 2 and 8 we are having. That is a new set. And include this 2 and 8 also into the final solution because this will give us a solution. Next. Come to the next one. So see here, we have included these three, 6, 7, 5, 6 and 2, 8. Already we have included in the solution. 6, 7, 5, 6 and 2, 8 we have included in the solution. Now we have to consider the edge 0, 1. 0, 1. Okay. So 0, 1 we are seeing whether it is already part of the set or do you have to create a new set. Part of the set means, see here, the previous till from S0 to S8 they are having only a single digit. Only S9, S10, S11 we have got the merged sets 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 2, 8 like this. So 0 and 1 already they are not part of the solution. So we have to include in the solution and you create a new set. Merge this S0 and S1 and you create a new set called as S12. Right? So we are including 0 and 1 and we are creating a new set called as S12. S12 is having the 0 and 1. Right, this is done. Next we have to see 5 and 2. 5 and 2 is the next least cost stage. So 5 and 2 can you include in the solution? So till 11 we have seen previously, 5 and 2 do they belong to the same set? No. S10 is having 5, S11 is having 2. Like we have to see only the latest set which is having these values. S10 is having 5, S11 is having 2. So what we do, we have to merge this S10 and S11 and you create a new set called S13. So see here now S13 is having 2, 5, 6, 7 and 8. By combining all this, we are creating the new set S13 and we include this 5, 2 into this solution set also. Right? This is also done. Now we'll move on to the next one. Next one is 6, 8. So these are the edges we have created, sets we have created by combining all this sets edges we have created previously. Now 6, 8. 6, 8 means we have to see whether the 6, 8 is already part of a set. If you see here, 6, 8, already it is part of S13. So if you include the 6, 8 into the solution, now it will not give you a final, it will not give you the solution. It will create a cycle. So that's why I have highlighted in red color, 6, 2, you should not include. If you're including, it will not give you the solution. So you have to ignore the 6, 8, right? Ignore the 6, 8. Again, proceed to the next one. Next one is 2, 3. 2, 3 also, we have to see whether 2, 3 is already part of a set. See here, till S13 only we have created from the previous stage. 2, 3 is not there. 2 is there, 3 is not there. So again, what we are trying to do, S3 is having this 3. So this 3 and this S13, we have to merge and we are getting the new set by combining all this. So we are getting 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are getting the new set called S14. And when you are creating a new set means it is already not included in the solution. So we are including in the solution. 2, 3 is included in the solution. Okay. Now come to the next one. 7, 8. So these are the sets already created. Now you have to again see whether 7, 8 is already part of any sets. See here, 7, 8 is already part of this S14. So we should not include this one into the solution. If you are including, it will give you a cycle. Do not include. Now come to the next one. 0, 7. Again, you are seeing that 0, 7 is already part of the set. Now, S14 is having 7. It is not having 0. Go towards the means from bottom. S12 is having 0. So what you're supposed to do, we have to merge this S12 and S14. So S12 is 0, 1. S14 is the remaining values. Merge these two for getting the new set S15. So if you are merging, you'll get 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the values you're having in the solution S15. Okay, so 0 and 7 we have included in the solution. Right, this is also included. Then proceed. Next is 1, 2. So 1, 2 means see here, 1, 2 is already part of this set we are not including. Right, we should not include this one. Next, we are coming to the next one, 3, 4. 3, 4 means see whether 3, 4 is already part of the set. 3, 4 is already part of the set. Now, till S15 only we have created from the previous stage. S15 we are having 3, but 4 is not there. So we have to include. So what we are saying, 4 is found in the previous S4. S4 is having that vertex 4. So S4 and 3 is included in S15. So S15 is having 0, 1, 2, 3. Actually 4 is not there. 5, 6, 7, 8. S4 is having this 4. If you merge this S4 and S15, we'll be getting the next one S16, which is having all these values. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, all these values you got. So we are including 3, 4 also into the solution. So now see, this final set is having all the vertices from 0 to 8 because we had vertices from 0 to 8, right? So all the vertices are now included in the solution. Now come to the next one. 4, 5 is there. So we see whether 4, 5 is there in the single set. Yes, 4, 5 is there. So if you include this, it will create a cycle. We are not including in the solution. Come to the next one. 1, 7. 1, 7 also we have to see whether it is part of the solution. Now see, 1 and 7 already it is part of the solution. We are not including into the solution. Then go to the next one, 3, 5. 3, 5 also it is included in the last this set is 16. So if you include this, we will not get the solution. So we are not including in the solution. So initially we saw there are 14 edges. There were 14 edges, right? And 9 number of vertices. So the final spanning tree which you are constructing should contain only 8 number of edges, 9 number of vertices. So it should contain 8 number of edges. So we'll see how many edges we are having here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 number of edges you are having. See, what are the edges? 6, 7, 5, 6, 2, 8, 0, 1, 5, 2, 2, 3, 0, 7, and 3, 4. So these are the final edges which make up the final spanning tree, right? So we'll see finally how to construct the final spanning tree. This is the given graph. From the given graph, now we are seeing these are the edges you are having. Now you connect one. First one is 6, 7. 6, 7 means 6, 7 is connected. Next one is 5, 6. See, 5, 6 is connected. Next one is 2, 6. 2, 8. 2, 8 is also connected. Next one is 0, 1. 0, 1 is also connected. Next, 5, 2. 5, 2 is connected. Next is 2, 3. 2, 3 is also connected. Next, 0, 7. 0, 7 is connected. Then 3, 4. 3, 4 is connected. Finally, you see there are 9 number of vertices. So starting from 0th vertex, now we have connected all the vertices with 8 number of edges, right? So this is the final spanning tree. So what you have to understand is, if you are having V number of vertices and we can have any number of edges, so the final spanning tree should be constructed with V minus 1 number of edges. Now you add all the cost, all the total cost, that will give you the minimum cost of the spanning tree. So I'm adding all the cost, 12, 13, 14, 15. Finally, we are getting the total cost is 37, right? That is the minimum spanning tree using Kruskal's algorithm. Now we'll see the algorithm for this. So you construct a cost having all these values. So you construct a queue with all the edge costs. First of all, we are creating a queue with the edge costs such that they are in increasing order. According to increasing order, we are arranging all the edge cost. Initially, I is 0 because we are starting with the 0th vertex. Minimum cost is 0. So while I less than n minus 1, because finally we are saying spanning tree should contain only n minus 1 edges. So that's why n minus 1 edges and q is not empty. We have to include, we have to check for all the edges till q is not empty. Delete the minimum cost edge u comma v from the q. Take the minimum cost edge and j is find of u, k is find of u. Find is a function which finds whether they will form a set or not, right? Now, if j is not equal to k, j and k are not equal means I is I plus 1 because this is the first vertex we are including in the solution. So T is the solution set. T of I is 1, right? 1, 1 is U, starting vertex, and T of 1, 2 is B, ending vertex. We got 6, 7. So we'll be storing T of 1, 1 is 6 and T of 1, 2 is 7. We are including in the T matrix. Then minimum cost is initially 0 plus cost of going from U comma V. So that is this cost, right? And finally, we have to combine all this union J comma K. Finally, we have joined all the edges and we have constructed the final tree. And finally, we have to see if the I is not equal to n minus 1. We saw, right? N vertices means n minus 1 number of edges should be there in the final spanning tree. If I is not equal to n minus 1 means we are saying it is not a spanning tree. Otherwise, you are saying it is we have to return the minimum cost. We are returning the minimum cost. So this is the finding the minimum cost using the Kruskal method. And see what is the time complexity. First of all, we are taking the queue and arranging everything in ascending order. So it is a sorting procedure which requires sorting complexities n log. And similarly, here we are sorting all the edges, right? So the cost of sorting is E cross E, plus we have to find that whether they belong to the same set and find and join. This will again take V log V. Okay, V number of vertices are there. All the vertices you have to see whether they are forming a set and we have to combine. So for this we are taking it as V log V. So from these two, what you are saying, E log E, this is the greatest. So the time complexity is E log E, and the various applications are we can landing cables and for means tour operations, cluster analysis for routing algorithms and all, we are using this. And just one more problem, just I'll run through the slides. This is another problem. We are having vertices from 0 to 5, means 6 edges we are having. Final spanning tree should contain 5 means edges. So first of all, see all the edges we are sorting means ascending order. Then create sets having all these edges. Then create a new set. First least cost, that is 0, 2, then S7, S3, 5. This also not set. Then we are comparing next one. Next is 0, 1. 0, 1 means we have to combine this S1 and S6 and we are getting a new set 0, 1, 2. Then next is 1 and 4. 1 and 4 also not a set. So we are combining S4, S8 for forming S1, 0, 1, 2, 4. Then next one is S7 and S8 we combine. We are getting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we had the edges from 0 to 5. All the edges are now included. If you see the remaining edges, they're already part of the solution. So we won't get an answer. So all these are rejected. And the final spanning tree we are creating is 0, 2, then 3, 5, then 0, 1, then 1, 4, and 2, 5. This is the minimum spanning tree. Finally, this is the minimum cost.